Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm bringing to you my bookish preferences. This video was originally created by Murphy Napier, who's one of my most favorite booktubers. I'll link her original video in the description so that you can go and check it out if you're interested, and I'll also highly recommend you to try it out because I just enjoyed watching the entire video. This has like 10 questions. It's kind of like a book tag but not an actual book tag. Anyone who wants it can do it, so I just went forward and took this from her channel because it was so good. I'll drop all the 10 questions in the description so that you can let your answers also in the comments below because I'd like to know them as usual. Without any further ado, let's get into the video right now. Question number 1. Which perspective is your favorite? We have 3 perspectives, that is points of view from which we see a story, right? First person, second person and third person. Now first person's point of view is something like this. I was going through this path and I saw this enormous thing, and the third person point of view is something like this. He was going through this path and he saw this enormous thing, and the second person's point of view is something which is being addressed to you, like you are doing that. You are walking down a path and you see this huge enormous thing standing in front of you. I have not read anything from second person's point of view until now. I read only books based on first and third person's point of view, but of these two, I'll prefer third person point of view because it helps me to understand the things as they are rather than just from a particular person's point of view. I do like single person point of view also, but it's more specific for me when it comes to reading thriller books and contemporary books because there are certain books which are totally centered on certain characters, the protagonist alone, so I'd like to know the story from their point of view. But when it comes to any other genre, especially fantasy, I'd like to read it from a third person's point of view because fantasy has a lot of world building, and I do think that world building can be expressed in the proper way that it needs to be addressed from third person's point of view rather than any other person's point of view. I've said that I've not read anything from second person's point of view, right? But I've also heard that the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin, that's one series which is told in second person point of view itself. I have not at all read any other books like that, and I have not even heard of any other books rather than that being written in second person point of view, because I do think that it will be very different compared to first and third persons, because it will be something like you are doing while you're reading the story, and I'm very much interested in reading that. Let's just wait and see if I'll end up reading that series or not. But if you ask me, my most perspective when it comes to addressing a story is third person's point of view. Question number 2. Which format is your favorite? Paperback, hardback, ebook or audiobook? I should say I read in all these 4 formats every month, okay? But my most favorite of all these 4, obviously if you've been following me, are hardcovers or hardbacks. That's mainly because they are much more durable compared to any other format, and they also give that full sensation of handling a book, okay? I do buy a lot of paperbacks. You can just see my shelf here. That's one of the main reasons why I buy a lot of paperbacks, is mainly because of the cost effectiveness that they have. I can buy a lot more number of paperback books for the same amount compared to the number of books that I can buy in hardcover. Also, one thing which I like about hardcover books a lot more is that they just give this fulfilled sensation of holding a book, and every time I read a hardcover book I need not be that much conscious in order to not damage the book, because since it's very durable, it doesn't get damaged very easily, and the quality of the materials that are used in constructing a hardcover book rather than a paperback book are much efficient, if you ask me. And one more thing which I like about hardcovers is that their spines don't break, okay? They have these stitched as well as glued spines which are combined together, so they don't break at all, and I need not be that much conscious about not breaking the spine, because that's one thing which annoys me a lot, because I cannot read a book with a broken spine no matter what happens. There are certain books which I own, certain used books, those are okay, but when it comes to fresh books I cannot even think of doing such a thing. And also one thing which annoys me a little about paperbacks is that they age very quickly, and they do get these spots and yellowing very quickly compared to hardcovers. I do like ebooks and audiobooks mainly because ebooks help me to read anywhere anytime, and audiobooks help me to read even when I don't want to read, I just have to listen. So audiobooks and ebooks are also some of my favorites, but of all these four formats, my most favorite is always hardcovers. And I do have a series called Pros and Cons. It's a playlist in my channel. I'll try to link it up in the iCard and down in the description. You can check it out if you're interested. My Pros and Cons of hardcovers is one of my most viewed videos. I think it has over 1.8k views or so as of now, and that's one video which I'm very proud that I made, because it did have a lot of things from my own experience with hardcovers, which I just loved discussing in that one. And if you're interested, please do check it out because I think it's one of my best videos out there. Question number 3. Do you prefer a character or plot focused book? The answer for this one is very simple for me. If you've been following me, you already know I am a very much character driven reader rather than a plot driven reader, because the plot sometimes doesn't matter at all for me when it comes to reading any kind of books. Okay, if I'm able to understand the character more, if I'm able to relate with them in some way or the other, or if I'm able to empathize with the character in some way, that's a huge success for me as a reader when I'm reading that particular book, because I'm not that person who, how to say, I do pay a lot of attention, and it's not like I have to be so much conscious while reading, because my memory is in such a way that while I read something, I'll be able to remember that very easily. I don't have to be very intentional about remembering something. It's just naturally an ability that I have. I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just saying that I need not be that much intentional while reading, because I don't remember stuff very easily. And one thing which I just dig for in any kind of book or any genre of books that I read is always the character development. If there is a proper character arc, whether good or bad, okay, I don't care whether a character is good or bad, but if a character starts feeling real to me, or if I'm able to connect with any of the characters, I just love reading those books or those series a lot. A great example for this one is the 2 series that you can see back there, Game of Thrones as well as Shadowhunter series, that is the Mortal Instruments. The Mortal Instruments characters, all those 6 characters are some things which are just very close to me, because I love all of them. Okay, they are just best if you ask me in many ways. I've read that series twice, mainly just for the characters. I didn't even care for the plot while I read the series for the second time, because it was not a major focus for me at all while reading. I was totally invested in those characters and their stories separately rather than the entire plot or the story as a whole, and that's why I do love and dig characters a lot more compared to a plot. Question number 4. Do you care about prose? This is also one of my most favorite questions of this lot, and I do love beautiful prose. Okay, for me, straightforward writing is okay. It doesn't make me want to wonder. I can just read with a flow. That is, I need not sit and think whether this line means anything else or not. But one thing which I like a lot is nice descriptive writing. Okay, that's one of the main reasons why I like fantasy books a lot, because they have a lot more descriptions compared to any other type or genre of books. Mainly because when it comes to fantasy, you are always put into a world that doesn't exist or an alternate reality. So there are things in that specific world, or certain partitions of that world which need to be read and understood, because they are totally things that are created by the author, and I do like experiencing such stuff a lot. And even if a book has zero plot, and even if the characters are not that much fleshed out, if it has beautiful writing, I'll not even care. I'll take my sweet time. Okay, I'll even take 3 or 4 months and I'll just read the book for the beautiful prose itself. One of the best examples for that one is The City of Brass as well as Strange the Dreamer. Okay, Strange the Dreamer had some good character work, but the writing in that one, it was just so much out of the world for me. Okay, I can understand it is very descriptive. The author just takes pages for explaining things that she can just write within a single line, but I do like that type of writing. I don't read all the books that are like that, but 1 in 100 books, if I read one book like that in 100 books, it's just so much fulfilling for me, and I just love it for that itself. And another example which I'll say is The City of Brass, which I said before. It has everything in the perfect way, if you ask me. The plot is excellent. Okay, the magic system is superb. The characters, I need not even talk about them. Apart from all of these things, which just holds every other thing about the book like a glue, is the writing of S.A. Chakrabarti in that one, because it's just so beautiful, so descriptive, so vivid, so succulent in many ways, and that's one of the main reasons why I like that book. And I do care about prose a lot, and if a book has beautiful prose and nothing else about it is beautiful, I'll just read the book for the prose itself. Question number 5. How introspective do you like your characters to be? The answer for this one is also very easy for me. The more introspective a character is in a book, the better the book is for me, because as I said before, right, I'm a character driven reader. So if I get to know a lot more about the character, if I spend a lot more time inside the head of a character, it's like a lot it has like many more chances to win rather than lose when it comes to reading for me, mainly because I just like to know about the character whom I'm reading about in a story, because that's the thing which matters to me the most, because I read books just in order to empathize with characters and in order to try and understand how people feel during different situations. Okay, each and every person in the world that I meet is different, so they are not going to feel about one particular thing in the same way. There are going to be different things that people feel for the same thing that happened in one time or the other, and that's one thing which I like a lot. And one of the perfect examples for this one, for a character being very, very introspective and where we spend a lot of time within the character of head of a single character, is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Okay, in this book, the character is the only focus, and the thoughts that she has, they are just so vivid and so genuine and so realistic in every way, if you ask me. There is a plot in the book, but even the author didn't care about the plot, if you ask me, because the book is not about the plot. It's about this character and the thoughts that she has, which cause these thought spirals in her head, and it was just so excellent. Okay, it's one of my all-time favorite books for that reason itself, and one of the main reasons for it being one of my most favorites is the amount of introspectiveness that was given to this character and the amount of time I spent within the head of that character. Question number 6: how do you like your relationships? Okay, this one is a bit of a tricky question, because romance is one of the relationships which many readers love a lot, and I don't at all complain anything or judge anyone for loving romances, mainly because that's something which everyone is attracted to, right? But for me, when it comes to reading books, the things which are the kind of relationships which just pull me into the story a lot more is that between friends. Okay, the friendship that blooms between two people who didn't like each other before, and the second one is the bonds between siblings. Okay, anytime I read a sibling bond, I just love it. Okay, whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter to me. If it's good, it's great. If it's bad, it's okay. Okay, I'll not say that I don't like a sibling relationship in anything, because though it's good or bad, it's going to be something which I can relate to in some way or the other. I do have a sibling. Okay, so I can relate with certain things that comes in between siblings. Okay, I have an elder brother. I don't have any sisters. That is who are born with me. So I do like reading sibling relationships because they just feel so real and so relatable for me in many ways. Also, apart from these two things, familial bonds, it can be any type of familial bond. Okay, it can be between siblings, between children, between parents and a child, between just two parents. Okay, which just impact many things that can go on within a family. Those are things which I just like a lot, and those type of relationships, rather than romances and romantic relationships, are those which pull me a lot into a story when it comes to relationships as a focus. Question number 7: do you like a lot of description? I do like a lot of description, but there is something which, when it comes to description also, I like it when, places are described, and sometimes when food is described also, because I get to experience only the type of food that's available in my area, right? And I do like trying different varieties of food also. I'm vegetarian, so I eat only vegetarian food. So I do like I do like watching cooking shows and such. And when people describe how food looks, it just makes me feel so happy. Okay, I can understand it. It feels like a kind of a shallow thing for many people, but I do like it when food is being described. Apart from this, I do like when places are being described a lot, because I'm a person who does like to read a lot of world building, and the better a world is built, the better it is for me as a reader to get immersed in that world. And yeah, I do like a lot of description. There is one place during which I don't like description. It is when a character, okay, or how a person looks, if it's described for like pages, I just get so irritated. An example for this one, two examples for this one are A Song of Ice and Fire and the Shadowhunter Chronicles as a whole, especially the main chronicles. Okay, there is this one description of black hair and blue eyes which gets repeated for like a million times within the 500 pages of the book. It just annoyed me a lot. I was thinking like, Cassie, I like your books, I like your writing. Okay, please don't make me hate it just because you're using the same black hair and blue eyes for like 1,000 times throughout the book. It was so irritating for me. And also in the Infernal Devices, every time Will was described with black hair and blue eyes, you said it like a million times already. Please stop describing it again and again, because it's getting a lot more irritating each and every time I read it. And yeah, if you're saying that they look good, okay, if you're saying like once or twice in order to make it register in my mind that they look in a certain way, it's okay. But if you keep on stressing the same thing over and over again, it just becomes irritating, and at a point I start even hating the character. I don't like such description. If it's description for places or food, I'm all in for it, but if it's repeated description for the appearance of a person, not at all in. Question number 8: standalones or series? Okay, the answer for this one is also very simple for me. I do like series a lot more compared to standalones, because I get to spend a lot more time inside a world, and it helps me understand the characters as well as how the world works in a, how to say, deeper way compared to in standalones. I do pick up standalones also a lot, just as much as I pick up series. But if you give me two options of whether to read a standalone or to read a series, I'd obviously prefer or pick up a series, mainly because series are things which I just love to read, and the time that I spend, the amount of time that I spend in reading about certain things definitely does have a lot of influence of how much I'm going to like it or how much I'm going to dislike it. So series are always better for me compared to standalones as a reader, because I said right, because the more time I spend, the more I'm going to understand and able to evaluate how the things are working in such a book. And yeah, series are better for me compared to standalones always. Question number 9, single POV or multiple POV? I do like multiple POV because at times what happens is, if you're just following a single character's point of view throughout a book, it gets boring because we don't get to see the world from any other view. Okay, it's just always a single person's point of view, and it gets frustrating and irritating at times, because there are certain times during which a character might feel bad and everything in the world will look so bad for them, and it's not the right thing. There are certain scenes inside Game of Thrones itself in which when a character dies, one character might experience a lot of grief for the death, and the other character might feel a lot of joy and relief for that death. If you've read The Red Wedding, you can understand what I'm trying to say, and if you've even watched Game of Thrones, you can understand which scene I'm describing right now. There is this one character who dies, and many of us who are readers and viewers of the show, we just became so happy, and Cersei became so sad. Okay, those are things which I just like from different points of view, because that's the same thing that's happening, but there's this simple quote which I listen to in Let's Talk About Mental Health, which is one of my favorite podcasts right now. It is, nothing happens to you, everything happens, but it depends only on how you respond to it. I like that a lot, because all things happen in the same way for everyone, but how we react to it changes the way how it influences or impacts us in every way possible. And that's one of the main reasons why I like to see different points of view rather than a single point of view. Question number 10, the last question. Do you prefer a strong start, middle or finish? I'll always prefer a strong finish, mainly because starting is okay. Starting and middle, if it's slow, I'll be able to take it. Even towards the end, if it's slow, I'll be able to take it. But if you're just making everything better in the beginning and the middle, and if you just collapse everything towards the end, it's not at all something which I wish for while reading a book, because the ending must be satisfying, or it must at least make us feel something good in some way or the other. It might even make us feel sad, but that sadness must be a success for the book. That's something which I like. But if it doesn't end up doing any of those things, it's just going to be a huge disappointment for me as a reader. And I'd always prefer to have, how to say, a perfect and proper ending compared to a proper starting and middle, because if it's slow and set at a constant pace, or if the pace lags and there are many inconsistencies in the beginning and middle, it's not that much of a con if the ending makes up for all of it and ends up being better. And I do prefer a better ending compared to a better starting or middle. So those are all my answers, and don't forget to leave your answers in the comments below, because I'd like to know them. And that's it for today. If you did enjoy watching today's video and found it useful and entertaining in some way or the other, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel, because I publish new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.